Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Coach Matt over here, Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. So check it out. Today's video ultimately has to deal with confidence. We're going to talk about some things, some emails that I get right around this time every single year when we get to championship season that all really have to do with and boil down to being more confident with your abilities. All right. So I want to put this into perspective for a lot of people. Growing up, I didn't play a musical instrument. Growing up, I was not involved in any drama clubs or doing any type of plays or anything like that, besides maybe the elementary school play that was done every year for the parents and grandparents. I never did anything where I stepped up on stage in front of people and had to perform. Because of that, when I got involved in a sport, playing basketball was my sport when I was younger, I had to get used to performing in front of a crowd. Even though there was very little pressure, I had to get used to performing in front of a crowd. And the way that I got confident performing in front of a crowd, the way that I improved my performances when I was in front of a big crowd in a basketball gym, was by playing a lot of basketball games. The more exposure I had to a big crowd, the better I became at playing basketball. I didn't even notice the crowd. I didn't even see the crowd. Even when I was doing like the higher level stuff, in 8th grade, 9th grade, and you're going to these bigger tournaments and these bigger all-star type things, you forget about the crowd because you're so used to it. And getting used to it builds your confidence. So recently I've been getting a lot of emails from athletes who seem to be failing. And I use that term as lovingly as possible, but they seem to be failing. They seem to be choking when they get to these big meets. And the reason for that is I don't think a lot of athletes out there, especially younger athletes, freshmen and sophomores that are out there, are used to competing at a high level. I don't think they're used to competing and earning their spot on their team. I'll give you an example. We had an athlete the other day who sent me an email who was having one of the best weeks of practice that he had ever had. I mean, this kid in the discus was over 150 every single day. His PR is in the upper 140s. I think it's 146, 147 change, something like that. And he knew, he was confident. He knew that he was going to throw a big throw when he got to his track meet. Sure enough, guess what happened? Got to his track meet, overperformed, ended up throwing in the mid-150s, better than he was doing at practice. He felt comfortable in the circle. He felt relaxed in the circle. And sure enough, he ended up hitting a big throw. It's really, really good to point out that the meet that he went to, he knew he was going to win. He was favored to win that meet by about 25 feet. So even if he had a bad day, he was still going to win. Even if he threw the worst throw that he had thrown all season, he still would have won that meet by probably about 5 or 6 feet. So he had nothing to lose. He was confident. There was no pressure. There were no problems. Leading up to that week in practice, he had a fantastic practice and everything went really, really well. And it paid off with a big-time PR and a big throw. Compare that to an email that I got, about 5 hours ago from an athlete who had their championship meet yesterday. All last week leading up to practice, throws were not feeling good. Were not feeling good. Athlete did not know. He had no idea what was going wrong. He had no idea how to fix it. His coach was not there for a couple of days because of a family emergency. And the meet he was going to, he was favored to, in the seating, he was seated at 3rd place. He knew that in order to get 2nd place, he would have had to hit a big PR by 3 feet, a little over 3 feet actually. So he had a lot of pressure going into the meet. He had a lot of tension going into the meet. He had everything to lose. He put so much pressure on himself to throw a big, massive PR that what do you think happened? He choked. He didn't have a good meet. He did not have the meet that he wanted to have. All that pressure was weighing him down. And then, as what normally happens, today, when he sent me the email right after practice. And in practice, guess what? He's tossing all these big throws. Where were those throws yesterday? It's not like his ability got better overnight and all of a sudden he's throwing big PRs. What happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. He was relaxed. He was at practice. It was just another day, going out there nice and loosey-goosey, going out, getting warmed up with his team, a routine day of practice, and he had one of the best days that he's had all season. So what does this go to show you? In order to perform at the highest level, you need to be relaxed. In order to be relaxed, you need to go into your meet confident that you have the ability and confident that you're going to have a good day. How do you build the confidence? The week leading up to practice, do things at practice that make you feel confident. If your full throw is feeling like crap, that's when you hit your South Africans. That's when you hit your mirror turns. If your release doesn't feel good, back off the full throws and work on releases until they feel good. If your full throw doesn't feel like it's working well for you, well, break the throw down. Work on the parts that need to be worked on and do it until those parts of the throw feel good. That's going to increase your confidence. When you get to the track meet, put in your headphones, okay? Put in your earbuds, whatever the hell the kids call it nowadays. Put on your Beats, okay? Get that stuff. Relax. Take deep breaths. Visualize a great throw. When you go in for your warm-up throws before your competition throws, nice and loose, nice and relaxed. I get that email from kids all the time. I threw better in warm-ups than I did during the meet. Well, during warm-ups, you're relaxed. During warm-ups, there's nobody measuring. You're chill. You're laid back. You're going out there, you're letting your technique do the work, and you're not tense and you're not tight. When you get into your competition throws, your first throw, take a nice, easy throw to get a mark. Then try to turn it up a little bit. Then turn up the intensity. Then try to go after and catch one. But stay loose. Stay relaxed. Try to stay calm. Meditation methods work. Just research some ways to meditate. Close your eyes. Take some deep breaths. Visualize. Watch some videos of some great throwers. Something that's going to pump you up, but keep you calm. Keep you focused on the task at hand. So that's what you need to do. A lot of people go into meets and underperform. A lot of people go into meets and choke. The reason for that, again, is because they're nervous and they're tense and they've put way too much pressure on themselves. Pressure is directly related to PRs. The more pressure that you put on yourself, the more stress that you give yourself during a track meet and before leading up to that track meet, the worse you're going to do. You have to go into that track meet relaxed. You have to go into your meets confident with the knowledge that you are going to have a great throw. Confidence is key. Pressure is directly related to bad PRs. Make sure no pressure, no problems, no stress. Do what you know how to do. Do what you've done in practice leading up to that day, and guaranteed you're going to have a solid track meet.